me not wanting to disappoint people makes it harder for me to try because I feel like I'm already disappointing them. So like, what's the plan even trying? Good thing.
After stumbling through her weight loss journey not once, not twice, but 4 separate times, Seana's story from My 600 Love Life feels less like a recovery plan and more like a slow-motion car crash you can't look away from. At over 600 pounds, every choice she makes carries life or death stakes, yet she treats day one like a victory parade. It's almost like that infamous line from Breaking Bad. "I'm not in danger. I am the danger." Except here, the danger is her mindset. This isn't just about overeating, it's about a dangerous mentality, an addiction hiding in plain sight, and a spiral of excuses so convincing even she believes them. The real question is, can anyone escape a cycle this deep? The shocking cheat day mentality. It's day one, and she's already reached for a cheat day? Wait, how does that even happen before day 0? You'd think this is the moment of laser focus. Salads prepped, water bottle in hand, gym shoes by the door. But no, our 600-pound star has decided it's already time for a cheat day. Not after a week, not after a month. After one single day of eating slightly better, she's rewarding herself like she just ran a marathon. It's a pattern that feels straight out of Seana's case. The 22-year-old whose 659-pound frame, immaturity, and deep-rooted food addiction kept her from sticking to any diet plan, no matter how many chances she was given. And just like Seana, this is where the entire journey takes a nosedive before it even leaves the runway. Seana's inability to stick to her diet wasn't just about hunger, it was about reward psychology gone wrong. On more than one occasion, she treated a single day of slightly healthier eating as an excuse for a cheat day, as if she'd already earned a break. See, cheat days aren't inherently bad. They were originally designed for elite athletes, the kind of people who train 6 days a week, burn thousands of calories, and need to refill their glycogen stores. But for someone who hasn't yet created a calorie deficit, calling in a cheat day is like refueling a car that hasn't left the driveway. All you're doing is spilling gas everywhere. And we're not talking about a harmless snack here. A little treat at her size can easily mean a 3,000-calorie fast food explosion. That's enough to erase any minor progress she might have made and send her body straight back into storage mode. Imagine working all week to pay off debt, only to blow your paycheck on a shopping spree before the first bill even clears. The problem here is a dangerous mix-up between effort and results. She thinks that trying for a single day is the same as achieving. To make matters worse, social media cheers this on. Those feel-good, treat-yourself posts are everywhere. Glamorous photos of dessert plates with captions about self-care, conveniently skipping the part where discipline matters. And if you've watched My 600 Love Life, you know the pattern. Patients who justify indulgence early rarely make it to surgery. Of course, there's the classic excuse, it boosts my metabolism. Sounds sciencey, right? Except the data laughs in its face. Nutrition expert Michael Roussel, PhD, points out that even a massive 1,000-calorie cheat barely bumps your metabolic rate by about 18 calories. That's not even enough to burn off a single potato chip. Sure, leptin, the so-called hunger hormone, might rise briefly, but the effect vanishes fast and means nothing if you're still eating in surplus. Calorie cycling can be effective for lean, trained athletes who have already established a well-defined diet. For someone still in the red every day, the only thing getting a boost here is the drive-through cashier's sales quota. So yes, one day without triple pizzas is technically a win, but when it's followed by a quick bring me cake moment, the win turns into comedy and tragedy all at once. Life at 600 pounds, the brutal reality. Imagine carrying another adult human on your back every single moment of your life. That's the physical reality at 600 pounds. Each step isn't just walking, it's surviving a small earthquake in your joints. At this weight, the knees absorb forces exceeding a ton with every movement. No wonder even a trip to the kitchen feels like a trek across a desert, and the strain doesn't stop at the knees. Breathing becomes a battle. Even mild exertion leaves her gasping, a red flag for obesity hypoventilation syndrome, OHS, a condition where excess weight prevents the lungs from expanding fully, starving the body of oxygen. This is why something as simple as bending over to pick up a shoe can feel like sprinting up a hill. The financial toll is equally brutal. Relying on takeout, delivery, and convenience foods can easily top $1,000 per month. Money that, in a cruel twist, could instead fund healthier meal services, mobility aids, or gym memberships. Inside, the heart works like an overclocked engine. Pushing blood through a larger body means constant overexertion, leading to rapid fatigue and higher risks of heart failure. Every day is a test of how long the system can keep up. And yet humor becomes her shield. Quick one-liners and self-deprecating jokes deflect from the unspoken truth. With a BMI over 60, the NIH warns life expectancy can drop by more than 20 years. Doctors call it a ticking clock because with a BMI over 60, time runs out faster than you think. Every step, every breath, every laugh hides the same haunting question: how much time is really left? The addiction nobody talks about. Have you ever wondered why that harmless cookie suddenly turns into a full-blown feeding frenzy? In this world, food isn't just fuel. It's therapy, reward, and comfort all rolled into one addictive cocktail. Let's peel back the curtain on what happens when food becomes your drug of choice. It starts, innocently enough, planning meals with obsessive zeal, checking menus, timing arrivals, chasing that next sugar hit like it's a prescription. This isn't hunger, it's dependence in action. For Seana, that dependence began as a coping mechanism after a childhood scarred by physical and emotional abuse from her father. That early escape soon spiraled into a lifelong addiction, leaving her morbidly obese in her teens and derailing her social life, mental health, and career prospects. Even with medical guidance, she repeatedly lost diet plans, skipped appointments, and leaned on food during bouts of boredom or emotional distress. Habits that strained her support system until her caregiver finally walked away. Her journey to Houston for treatment could have been a fresh start, but old habits followed her. Hotel snacks became just this once indulgences, except in her world that meant multiple binges before creating any calorie deficit. Her brain had rewired itself to crave the dopamine rush, not the food. Without it, she felt restless, irritable, and empty. Sugar and fat combos are known to spike dopamine levels in the brain's reward center, sometimes by over 200%, mirroring the effects of substances like nicotine and alcohol. Those cheat meals? They're textbook triggers. Think smoothies are innocent? Think again. Some healthy blends pack more than 50 grams of sugar, a shock that beats even most sodas. Behind her addiction is an enabling network. Family and friends keep delivering comfort on a plate, feeding her addiction, and absolving themselves of guilt. Emotions act like tripwires: stress, boredom, loneliness. They ignite one-way tickets to the snack bar because comfort feels immediate even when damage is delayed. And the food industry isn't innocent. They engineer every chip, soda, and dessert to land exactly at the bliss point, that sweet and salty nirvana that keeps you coming back. Consider this: around 29 of obese individuals describe themselves as addicted to food, because scientifically it's often true. Even experts are starting to label compulsive eating of ultra-processed foods as a mental health issue. Ultra-processed food use disorder. Research has also linked high consumption of ultra-processed foods to increased risks of developing multiple cancers, making this not just a weight problem, but a ticking time bomb for long-term health. So here's the haunting question: When your body betrays pleasure for survival, who's really in control? Why day one can make or break you. Day one is a crossroads. One path leads to momentum, the other to a quick collapse. For her, the very first day wasn't about building discipline. It was about rewarding herself. One day into her diet, she's already celebrating, but for what? What if the thing you call a reward is the exact reason you never change? That single decision might sound small, but it can quietly sabotage an entire journey. The first 3 days of change are like wet cement. Neuroscience research shows habits take root fastest in this early window, meaning what you do here sets the tone for everything after. She had a golden 72-hour chance to build discipline and traded it for a drive-through bag. Momentum is a fragile thing. Those early wins, skipping dessert, drinking more water, and taking a short walk, fuel your belief that you can keep going. Lose them, and your mind starts whispering, "You've already messed up, so why bother?" It's the same trap that makes half of all diets fail within the very first week. Meanwhile, your body is getting mixed signals too. Flipping between binge eating and dieting in those first days throws hunger hormones, leptin and ghrelin into chaos. One day they shout, "Eat now!" The next thing they barely register that you've eaten. This confusion makes sticking to a plan feel almost impossible. And without an accountability net, no coach, no tracking, no weigh-ins, there's nothing to stop the slide. You're left fighting old habits with sheer willpower, and that burns out fast. So the question becomes, if the very first step sets the pattern, why take it in the wrong direction? For many, the first day is the easiest, but also the most dangerous. The excuse loop and how to shatter it. The reality is that excuses are cozily wrapped lies dressed in comfort. It starts small. I earned this treat. And before you know it, you've slipped into a self-justification spiral that locks in bad choices as new habits. Psychology calls this the self-justification bias, where defending what you did makes repeating it far more likely. It's cognitive dissonance's sneaky cousin, keeping you cozy in denial instead of fueling change. For Seana, that spiral meant her progress was minimal and inconsistent, with the scale creeping up instead of down. Every minor step forward was followed by a celebration that pushed her 2 steps back. Eventually, Dr. Now discharged her, requiring her to lose 80 pounds on her own before being reconsidered. By then, the cheat day mindset had done its damage, locking her into a loop that no surgery, therapy, or plan could break. Then there's the genetics card. It's in my DNA. Yes, genes can influence metabolism, appetite, and fat storage. But like most experts agree, lifestyle still holds the majority stake in obesity outcomes, somewhere between 40 to 80%. What does that mean? You're not fated to stay stuck, you just need better inputs. A dangerously common twist of that, the "I'll start Monday" loop. It's the procrastination merry-go-round where no real progress ever begins. Emotional shielding, using humor or excuses to avoid shame, feels safer short-term, but it's long-term sabotage. Every joke's a brick in the wall between you and your future. But there's a cure, the micro-goal method. Why climb a mountain when you can take one step? Start with small actions like walking 5 minutes daily or skipping one sugary drink, and build the wins inch by inch. Need proof this works? Look at people who've shattered their weight barriers. For example, someone like David Smith, who lost over 400 pounds by cutting out the excuses and committing to daily steps forward. No cheat days, no self-pity, just relentless consistency. Because here's the kicker. Motivation is short-lived. Discipline is what shows up when you don't feel like it. So next time you're tempted to excuse your way out of something, ask yourself, what if the only thing standing between you and your 600 jumble reckoning is your willingness to stop making excuses? Seana's journey shows that the biggest battles aren't fought in gyms or kitchens, but in the mind's quiet corners where excuses live. What other hidden struggles shape the choices we make every day? Stay curious, keep questioning, and be ready for the truths that challenge our comfort zones. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more fascinating stories. Thanks for watching.